He's evidently doing the. Hey, everybody. It's Alex with Muddy Waters.
Oh, hello, this is Tamara.
And Dennis is, he's busy for a few minutes. He's having a, not per se a situation. He's just doing some stuff at the moment with his son. And unfortunately, it's carried over a little longer. So, real quick, we are going to start out. We had some stuff lined out, and Dennis has kind of the itinerary of what we were going to start with. But while we're waiting for him, we are going to go ahead and jump into Natasha. She is here with us. She's in the comments. And she has a cousin that's been missing. And I believe she's been missing since August 30th of 2025. And I had just was conversating with Dennis on my phone, texting him. And but we're gonna let Natasha. She's gonna probably text here in the chats and stuff, and put some stuff. But hope everyone is doing well. I'm glad everybody's here that's here. So we were going to do a little bit of question and answer stuff tonight with some cases, and then kind of throw it out there that people in the audience that who want to talk about cases or bring up some questions and stuff that we can discuss that. We should have we'll probably talk about a few other things, but Dennis just said I'm going to reply to him. Okay, so I just replied to him, and I think he's going to try to pull her flyer up, and he will probably do it through his computer here. So Natasha wrote, she was last seen in the parking lot of the Ozark Walmart. So Natasha, can you give us just a little bit more information? I'm sorry that, we're not 100% sure with everything, what exactly is going on. So, okay, so it just popped up here. So, missing adult, Amber Gordon, date of last contact was 8/30/2025. She is 38 years old. She is white. She is a female. She has blonde hair, blue eyes. She is 5'7". She weighs approximately 150 pounds. And she's missing from Charleston, Missouri. And if, we have any leads, anything like that, of course, the flyer here for the Missouri State Highway Patrol is the Charleston Department of Public Safety, and the phone number is 573-683-3737. And of course, this is the Missouri State Highway Patrol Missing Persons Clearinghouse, and that phone number is 573-526-6178. And the email is missingpersons@mshp.dps.mo.gov. So as you all can see, Dennis did put the flyer up for everybody to view. And well, I got another question here from Dennis. So it says, I'm gonna catch up here. So Ozark, Missouri. Amber paid two girls to take her to Springfield, but only dropped her off at that Walmart. And August 20th, Amber went to Safe to Sleep in Springfield. She called her bro to let him know she was there. August 27th, she called her brother from a borrowed phone to let him know her phone was lost, stolen. Hello, Joanne. August 30th, she called an hour bro from a borrowed phone because she had paid two women to take her to Ozark back to, I guess, from the Ozarks to the Springfield. So Dennis is writing, Natasha, if you would like to come on and join us live, there is the StreamYard link. And if you would like to do that, he can approve it and you can come on and talk with us instead of texting all this and, trying to do it that way. That way you can, give us a little bit more information, exactly what's going on, so on and so forth. And we are so sorry this has happened. So we shall see if she does this and Dennis approves it. So Mac Randall Jr., how are you doing, sir? Hope you've been doing well. Let's see. Yeah, I think it shows we have 7 people watching with us right now. So, as always, please like, share, subscribe. We did meet our 3,000 subscribers that we were shooting a goal for. So soon we are going to have some kind of special show that we will do. And we are going to be doing some giveaways, all kinds of stuff. So there she is. Let's see if she figures it. I'm sure she can figure it out because she's been on YouTube quite a bit. Tamara, how have you been? How is things going up there?
Good. Yeah, been busy with work, but it's been going good.
Good, great.
I think she's on.
It looks like she's in the, I don't know if she's in the background. And since Dennis has the show lead, I can't see it. I mean, I can see she's there with us on the screen, but I don't know if he's not approved it for her to come through.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Dennis said he is waiting basically for Natasha to turn on her camera and her mic on. As soon as she does that, she should be able to pop on and join us. Let's see where.
We're muted, so.
Oh,
it's getting closer.
So let's see, Charleston, Missouri.
I'm familiar with Springfield and Ozarks, but.
Yeah, I'm trying for some reason. I am drawing a complete blank on where exactly.
Okay, looks like Ozarks about a little south of Springfield.
Yeah,
maybe 30 minutes out ish or so, maybe less. Probably 65.
Yes.
in Charleston. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where.
She's
Is
from
that-
Charleston, but she was in the Ozark. She was in Ozark, Missouri, trying to get to Springfield. So
Is that doing that, Tamara? Or is that Dennis doing
yeah,
it?
it's zooming out. Yep, it's zooming out, so I can still see it. I can't see it in relation to other towns.
Oh, I didn't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that.
Oh, it looks good. Just need to see
Oh.
where their relationship
Yeah,
is.
I'm trying to see where. So
Is
it's
she-
all the way over on the east side, very
Ah.
east side of the state.
Okay.
Like-
Was she
Can
living?
y'all see me?
Oh, there she
she
is.
We got her. Hi, Natasha.
I look a little rough.
Oh no, I do too. We're all good.
How are y'all?
Good. How are you doing, Natasha?
I'm
Well,
hanging in here.
Well, that's
It
understandable.
seems like it's a never-ending cycle for me with craziness. But I want to get my cousin home where she belongs, and this is
Yeah.
not like her at all.
Yeah.
So
Well, I guess
Mm.
maybe start from the very beginning and let's just take it from A to Z so we know exactly what's going on and happened here.
yeah, okay. So Amber is 38. What I knew, I was just going by just basically off of what I'd been told and what I've seen on social media because she's my cousin, but we're not close or whatever. But this is not like her at all to basically vanish.
Mhm.
The information I put up was given to me from her daughter Rachel, who lives in Springfield. And she told me, excuse me, I had to be scanning in my mouth. She told me that, let's see here, what I had messaged Rachel and asked her was about her phone. And then she said that her phone had been lost or stolen, like it said in that message. And she said that, because I asked her where she lost her phone at, and she said she lost her phone somewhere in Springfield. And it was before she went missing in mid-August. So, but August 30th is when she paid somebody to take her to Springfield. I asked her about the footage at Walmart, and she said the first round of footage the person working her case got wasn't helpful, so he's trying to get more footage. So right now, as it stands, Ozark Walmart is the last place she was at, and there's these two women that I know it's going to be like finding a needle in a haystack, but if they're out there, please let somebody know, because, I want to know if maybe she said something about where she was going from Ozark or what have you, because she's went off before, but she's never vanished like this before.
Yeah. I'm going to ask Dennis to change the name of the show over to her name. Is that okay?
That's fine. Yes, that's thank you.
And I take it, and so Rachel is her daughter, correct?
Rachel is her daughter, yes. And then Harry is her brother. And those two are the ones I've been in a lot of contact with. Well, not a lot, but been messaging with.
And how old is Rachel? I know Rachel's on the call now, or on the live now.
Rachel, I'm not sure how old Rachel is, but she lives in Springfield.
Okay. Did Amber?
Okay, Rachel. Okay. Do what?
Did Amber live in Springfield as well?
No, Amber lived down here. I'm in Mississippi County. That's the county we live in. It consists of East Prairie, Wyatt, Charleston, Wilson City, Bertrand, Pinhook, and just some back roads area combined into one county. That's where she lived. But like I said, it's not like her to just vanish. So, and I mean, I thought I had a good lead a while back. I think a month or so ago on one of the Facebook pages, a a clothing pantry in Cape Girardeau said that she looked like somebody that had been through there. And I reached out to them and asked them if they had cameras. They did not have cameras at the time, but they do now. So if it was Amber and she was to come back through that clothing pantry or whatever, they'd be able to, look back and see if they indeed, it's hard, when you work these cases on a daily basis, like I was doing before, but whenever it hits your family, your own family, it's hard, because year before last, I had another cousin go missing. His name was Chris Vinson, and he unfortunately was found. He was murdered by his brother. So I kind of got out of the true crime stuff for a while and missing person stuff in a while, try to give myself time to heal. But whenever I seen that Amber was missing, I was like, man, this ain't right. So, yeah.
Okay. I see Dennis, or I'm not sure. Did Tamara, did you do it, or did Dennis change the title?
I did not. I have
so
no idea how to do that.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, there's the boss.
Hey, guys. Hey, Natasha. How are you?
I'm here. I'm here. Rachel's daughter is Amber's daughter, and she's in the chat with us. So, but she said that she traveled from Springfield to East Prairie, but in the towns, cities in between. So, there's.
So, I was going to say, so what's the beginning of the story? So, before, so where did she live before, and then how did she get to the Ozarks?
She lives in Charleston or around this area. I always just say Mississippi County because we're all over the place down here and stuff. But and when I say all over the place, it's because we got people in every little town here. So it's just, and sorry, I'm using my phone and moving around some. But she had got out of the hospital in Poplar Bluff. I'm presuming it was for behavioral health or mental health. And she went to Springfield. That's my understanding. Rachel, is that right? You couldn't chat or whatever, but that's my understanding that that's where she was going to, and that's where she went to Safe and Sleep or whatever in Springfield.
What's Safe and Sleep?
I'm guessing a sober living, maybe. I don't know. I just seen it. Or I just got these messages earlier, so I haven't really looked into it much, but yeah, Rachel, if you could, more more than I do, you could give a little bit more information. You want to come up?
Yeah, I mean, if Rachel's, please, if she,
then he dropped her a link, so
okay,
great.
But I reached out to the news person at KFVS 12, which is our I reached out to KFVS 12, which is our local news station here in this county, to get them, to get her story out, because when it comes to missing persons down here, it's just like, oh, we got somebody missing, and they'll post a flyer once and then it's gone. But I flat out told the guys, like, look, we need to get the word out or whatever. So, but yeah, Rachel, she should come up if she can.
So what has, like, with her being missing, we'll just go through the simple thing that we always do. What's the rumors? What's the facts? What's the BS that has been brought up and said? Like, what? So where does what people are talking about, like, what do you all as the family feel that's possibly going on?
I mean, I know that she you know, well, I've heard a couple of different rumors. I've heard that she was seen at a dollar store or what have you, and stuff like that. But the fact is that she got out of the hospital, went to a safe and sleep or whatever that is, and then made it to Springfield, or was going to Springfield, but got dropped off in an Ozark, Missouri.
So at this point, like, has the phone that was lost or was stolen, has it ever been turned back on somewhere? Has there any of that stuff been brought up? Has
None that I don't know that.
Like her bank account, did she have a bank account somewhere? I mean, because, and by all means, we're not trying to like pry into personal life, but
this is what we do, though. You know, this is this is what we do when we look into missing person cases. We have to know these things if, you know, we're trying to help locate somebody. Yeah. But I know that she received food stamps, and her food stamps had not been used in 3 months, which was like October, November, 3 months from the time she went missing, is what her brother had told me. And
hello, Rachel.
Hello.
Hey, Rachel.
Nice to meet you. Sorry we're meeting you on these terms, but you know, we'll try to do whatever we can do to help and spread awareness and, you know, all of that. So
and Rachel, I worked with these guys on some other cases, so that's how come they pulled me up here, I guess you could say. So, and I reached out to them because they are over in that area.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, Rachel, do you want to kind of fill us in on what you know right now as to what's going on?
I know right now the detective that is working her case is working on. He's getting all the digital things kind of sorted out right now before anything else. So he's getting access to her emails and things like that to see if that can lead us anywhere. But that's kind of unfortunately all we know right now.
Uh-huh. And you can kind of. I was just saying.
Yes, sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just saying you can agree with Natasha, like that her stuff hasn't been used, her food stamps, the
yes.
phone that she had that was stolen or lost has never been turned back on, or nothing like that.
The phone has been switched to a new number now. So it's not that number that Amber contacted us from, or not the same person, something like that.
So the phone is still out there and still works. Somebody just switched everything to a different name, number, provider.
Yes, but from my understanding, yes, the phone that she used she had lost it, I believe, in Springfield. And the detective, he was looking into it, but then all of the information got switched over to the person who has the new number.
Okay. Will it be interesting to see if they can find the lead that way? You know, whether the person that has it now knows something about your mother, or if she just was someone that ended up with the phone through somebody else from Facebook Marketplace, or someone selling it out of a car, or whatnot.
Yeah. I'm not entirely for sure if he's looking into the person that has the phone now. I don't believe that he is. He hasn't mentioned it.
Okay.
And so what was the, I mean, if you're interested in like kind of going through the timeline of like kind of where she started at home up until she went missing, at least as far as you know.
Oh, did we lose her?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was finished speaking.
Oh, I don't.
She might not have heard.
Yeah, I don't know if we heard her talk or something, but
Okay.
we didn't hear
Would you
anything.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I was saying that the detective, I don't know if he's looking into the person who has the phone now.
Okay. Would you be willing to or able to kind of go over the timeline of when, kind of the starting point of, kind of her travels, starting from wherever, like home or wherever, and then up until she went missing? I know they've kind of talked
I'm
about
not
a high
able to hear
level,
you
but
if
if you
you were
had more
speaking to
detail that
me.
you could share, if you're willing. Oh, I'm sorry, you said something?
I don't know. I think we might be having a communication issue.
Okay.
Yeah, I will keep listening in the chat. I think it's a connection problem.
Okay.
I'll keep listening in the chat, and I will answer your questions through the chat.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you so much.
No,
You are
thank
so
you.
welcome. When we were talking, I kept hearing myself like in the reverb in her phone.
Yeah.
Was you guys hearing that too?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't, if Natasha wants to come back on with us and talk, by all means, Natasha, you are more than welcome to come back on and talk. With Rachel, listening, and she wants to put in her information as we go. So, Dennis, can you bring her flyer back up again? And do we have any other pictures of her that by chance you might have located it or seen?
Right now, this is the only one I've got. Let me.
And I say good luck on Missouri State Highway Patrol, because I have not been able to get their site to work all day.
This one came off Facebook.
Oh, did it? Okay. But yeah, she's last seen was August 30th. So let's see. We're going on 7. We're getting ready to turn 8 months with her case, with her not being seen or heard from or anything. Which is unfortunately. Hopefully she is somewhere like in a woman's shelter or some type of safe place. This place that both Natasha and Rachel spoke about, what did they call it, Tamara? Safe and something?
Safe and Sleep.
Safe and Sleep.
Yeah.
And that was in the Ozarks, right? Because she didn't make it to Springfield.
Well, I thought it was in. Yeah, that's where I'm not sure. Like if she made it to Springfield and then went to Ozark and was trying to get back, or if she was on her way to Springfield and was in Ozark trying to get to Springfield. That I wasn't sure which it was.
Let's see if we can. Let's see.
But I guess what's really important is the moment where, the last point of contact is. So
yes.
Just trying to think of like if we knew what direction she was going or wanted to go.
Okay, so this is what on Google, what AI brings up when you Google it. It says safe to sleep in the Ozarks refers to a low barrier woman's shelter in Springfield, Missouri, providing 365-day emergency overnight shelter, food, and case management. It is a project of the Council of Churches of the Ozarks, offering a safe and secure place for women in need. Key information regarding safe to sleep in the Ozarks. Location primarily serves the Springfield, Missouri area, providing overnight safety for up to 40 women. Services: offers beds, secure overnight stays, shower access, food, personal hygiene products, case management to help with housing and healthcare applications. Mission aims to provide a safe, calm, and respectful environment for women experiencing homelessness. Volunteers. The shelter relies on a community of volunteers to remain open every night of the year. Safe Sleep infants. Note that Safe Sleep in Missouri also refers to infant safety incentives, especially ensuring babies sleep alone on their backs and in a crib to prevent SIDS, as promoted by SSM Health and Safe Cribs for Missouri. So I'm kind of curious, once they're there at this location during the day, do the women, girls, etc., do they have to leave during the day? So are they only allowed to be on the premises in the evening, overnight, and then they have to leave, sometime in the mid-morning by chance? I don't know if anybody else might, because I'm looking and I'm not really seeing anything else about that type of place. And I was actually trying to find the address. Oh, here's a picture of it right now. So gotta go back downstairs, pirate.
I see Rachel said that she traveled to Ozark and was trying to get back to Springfield.
Yes, so the address of the Springfield location is 3055 East Division Street, Springfield, Missouri 65802. And it looks like it's right off of 65 and is it 65 and 44 maybe? I don't know. It's not letting me pull it up on my maps, but I see 65 highway crosses it. So I assume that I-44 would be the main travel back and forth, that possibly people would be going back and forth and then cutting off and going southeast to originally where they might have been or was coming from. Boy, now my phone is stuck and it will not come out of the maps. What the heck? Do you all see that?
Okay, I see some pictures. Okay, yep.
Okay. So she has, so at the bottom of that particular flyer, it says, Amber was last known to be at Walmart in the Ozark, Missouri. She is known to go by the names Amber Drury, Amber Gordon, and Amber Cates. Amber has many tattoos, but most noticeably has a tattoo of a heart with a blood drip on her right cheek and a tattoo in script font of the word writer on the right side of her neck.
Yeah, no, those are some good pictures.
Yes.
I also see that Her brother Harry is in the chat as well.
Okay.
Oh, lightning bolts on the left leg.
She also has lightning bolts on left leg. Thank you, Harry, for joining us with this. And the same goes out to you if you would like to come on and speak live with us. And there's something you can add, for information. Dennis can share the link. By all means. The name Bite across her shoulders.
It's good to hear from what her daughter said about her, the police working and trying to get all the digital imaging together.
Yeah.
And kind of getting a timeline with that and who she interacted with.
Yeah. That's what's sad with a lot of cases is in the world we live in today, with every conceivable social media, anything and everything. I've said it 100,000 times over the years that we've been doing this. The KBI is absolutely the worst when it comes to pictures. And then, the Missouri State Highway Patrol does a pretty decent job. Hi, Harry. How are you, sir?
Hello. I've been better.
I understand. Well, why don't you, if you can fill us in and, tell us what, you might know and, what you would like to share, by all means, please do so.
So far from what I've heard, you guys are pretty well on point. She had left Poplar Bluff, the mental hospital, and she had went to Springfield to Safe to Sleep. And from there, I'm not sure how she ended up with the two girls, but they ended up dropping her off at Ozarks, and I guess she gave them like $40 for gas, and they just took off and left her. She had made a couple calls to me by using some people that were near the area. One guy was a construction worker. And all this stuff has been reported to the Missouri Highway Patrol, and especially out of that area. There's a detective from Springfield that's also working the case that I'm in regular contact with. And I know that he has obtained warrants for Facebook, I want to say Snapchat, maybe Gmail as well. Pretty much every platform that she was known to use, Cash App also included. And as far as her cell phone, me and my wife had bought for her, and this was before she went to the mental hospital. And so the number, it was probably 3 months ago, I called the number, and there was a different lady that now owns that number. And she runs some kind of business. But what happened is AT&T pretty well just recycled the number.
Yeah.
And it was an elderly woman. I had a long heart-to-heart with her, and I think we pretty well were both in tears after that conversation. And and as far as like rumors and things that are being said that I've discussed with the Missouri Highway Patrol, there were things that I'd heard down here, which is, to my knowledge, she never made it back down to this area. But there are other people that say otherwise. And one person used to be considered a family friend had told us that well, he didn't tell me personally. He told one of my cousins, and then they kind of told me and said that he didn't want to be involved in it for whatever reason, but said that she had supposedly stole from some drug dealer down in Wyatt, Missouri, and that they had killed her and dumped her in the Mississippi River. So I reported that, with the state trooper's office, and they pretty well told me to take that with a grain of salt. But it's kind of hard to when you hear things like that and you're actually hearing nothing else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's totally understandable. So at this point, I mean, do you feel she could be in Springfield somewhere? Do you think she could be back towards the Ozarks area? I mean,
I'll be completely honest with you. There hasn't been a time in my life that I can recall to where, even when she had run off and, was messing around with the drugs and stuff, that she still didn't reach out. She would always contact me, whether it would be borrowing a stranger's phone. She didn't care. I mean, she would literally ask anyone. I just feel like in my heart that if she was around somewhere, she would find a way to contact us, and at least her daughter, Rachel. I mean, I'm trying to remain hopeful, but it's getting pretty hard, especially with the length of time that this has gone through. And it's been tough on everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I know we had a case of a lady who she had gone missing, and it was up here by us, up in basically close to the Kansas City metro area. And she had been gone. Dennis, do you remember who I'm talking about? She had been gone, and we were talking to her husband. Was he her husband or ex-husband? Husband. And she had been gone for, was it going on 2 years? And
wow.
We ended up finding her in a shelter. And, the law states, as an adult, you don't have to tell nobody where you're at. I mean, unfortunately, that is. And Dennis is really good with the law, and he can tell you that what is and what not, and people can. And that's what's kind of, unfortunately, sometimes that is the sad side of all of this. Is as an adult, if you want to stay missing, you can stay missing and not have to tell anybody, and the police can know that, and they don't have to tell your family.
Well, yeah, and that is true.
Terrible. That's very terrible, because the downhill side is, of course, your loved ones. Everybody's looking for your relative, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, just like what you're dealing with. And you have these situations where things like that might happen. And then you have people who are out there spending their time and their money looking for someone. And this whole time, there is people that know where they're at, but that right is you don't have to tell. So, I mean, we all hope and pray that she is at some kind of shelter, or she's someplace getting, mental help. And that would be the blessing, is if that's what's going on right now, I mean, that's what we would all hope and pray for.
Yes, sir.
So
100%. I do know that she had a warrant out of Fayetteville, Arkansas. But as far as to my knowledge, they have been contacted, and nobody's heard anything from her. She's not in their systems or anything.
Okay.
But, given what you just told me, say she just didn't want to be contacted, then.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, now, generally, that kind of situation, law enforcement would be able to tell you that they have made contact, but they cannot release details. So most of the time, they would let you know that they have made contact and the person is safe, but they can't release more than that. But there has been some times where they did not even say that to the families.
And that's rough.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'll sit here and hope on a miracle, you know, that even something like that would be the case. But I would at least want to know that she's safe. I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing for all of us.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, tonight, with spreading awareness to what's going on and putting it on, on our social media stuff, and we can absolutely just, try to start getting the word out again, and just like the Huffs that are in the audience, they're down in Springfield, Missouri. And they watch our show a lot. Dennis speaks with them quite often, so
Really good people.
Awesome.
and like he said, we're getting into warmer weather. People are not wearing so much wintertime clothing, and
and
it sounds
that is true.
she has quite a bit of artwork on her, so she should be more easily seen and identifiable with that much artwork on her body. So
Oh yes. Yeah, I mean, and her demeanor, the way she carries herself, she's definitely noticeable. And here, some time back, last year, she had actually, and this is, just one of the many things that really just have us so worried, especially me. She had gotten into an altercation with the gentleman to where, for whatever reason, they ended up out on the back road in his truck, and I guess he wanted to do things that she didn't. And he shoves her out of the truck and ran her over and almost killed her. The gentleman ended up dying in Cape County Jail, where he was actually in there for someone else pressing assault charges and sexual assault charges against him.
Oh.
And so it's been a steady, in the past, it's been a steady argument I've had, between me and my sister, about, trying to be a little safer about, who all she's around and what she's doing. And I mean, we would beg her not to take off, and, she still would.
Yeah.
But she always stayed in contact. And that, I guess, really honestly, that's just the scariest part for me, is that there is nothing, I mean, no contact whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, I am so sorry you all are going, you guys are going through this, and we will try to help as much as we can to help you all out. And Dennis posted our numbers and our our email, so between you and Natasha and your niece,
Yes, sir.
please keep in touch with us, updates, and by all means, we will certainly do the same back if stuff comes into us like
Yes,
that.
sir. And man,
I do plan on being in that area later this year. My family's taking a little vacation, and while I'm down there, I've got no problem looking around for her while we're there.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
I know me and my aunt Jerry Lee, we plan on going to the Springfield and Ozark area, I believe, this coming weekend. And if not this weekend, it'll be the next weekend. And we're going to take a bunch of flyers and put flyers out around the town. And
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Flyers help. It's definitely worth the effort to do that. We have seen so many times that is what has brought somebody home, is flyers.
Yeah.
and see, and something I do know is that there's also been flyers that have been passed out in, like the different homeless communities. And I know there's been conversations, with the, some of their inside people and, with the sex trafficking stuff that goes on in those areas, because I know it happens everywhere. But
Yeah, it's really bad on I-44, and what's the road that runs north and south over on the east side of the state that runs up to St. Louis? What's that main highway?
55 or
Hayti and Marston.
oh yeah,
I know a lot of those places put tons and tons of sex trafficking stuff, like in their rest stops, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, another good place, for you guys to possibly visit when you make it there is try to get a list of all of the women's shelters, the mental health type facilities, and I would think with her tattoos and you guys showing pictures that she would more likely be noticed than not with that much artwork on her.
Yes, sir.
And trying to do that, I think would greatly, help. So I really do.
I know I've called around to a lot of places, and some of them, I guess, aren't able to say anything because of the HIPAA law. But
yeah,
I know it was still worth a shot of me asking. That way,
Yeah.
people have compassion.
Yeah. And I think that's, part of that whole thing where, as an adult, they don't have to tell, and it would, in one way you wish that they would release that information,
Yes,
but
sir.
sometimes they just don't, unfortunately, which is, it's a tragedy. And I can also see where there's women who have been, beaten and stuff. And of course, they don't want people to release them back to the person that caused injuries and bodily harm. And,
That's 100% understandable. And, I could agree to that 100%.
Yeah. But it looks like Mr. Huff, he will probably do some scouting down there since he's in that area in Springfield.
Awesome.
And he does have some experience doing that as well.
Awesome.
So that's a blessing to have him in that area. So
yes, sir. I just want you all to know that I appreciate you all very much.
Absolutely.
This is more time that I've talked to anybody with, and this whole process, honestly.
Well, that's great. I'm glad we're here to help you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. No, you can reach out to us anytime, and we will do everything we can to help.
10-4. I appreciate you guys.
Good deal. Well, let's see. What other is anybody said anything else here in the comments?
Robert said he would love a flyer. I let him know to send me his email. I can get a flyer sent down to him. Natasha pulled a list, and we'll get it put together of the resources in the Springfield and Ozark area, and she's going to get it over to you, Harry. She'll send that over to you when that's done.
All right, awesome.
But yeah, just keep us up to date, and we'll keep you up to date with stuff that we're doing, and we just say a prayer that something will become of it, and let's just hope she's somewhere getting help or something,
Yes, sir.
And we'll continue digging into this on our end, see what we could uncover, any leads that we get and everything. And like Alex said, we'll make sure to keep you guys up to date. And then we could also make sure we keep the Highway Patrol and all of that up to date on it as well.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
You're so welcome. Tamara, you have anything else to input? I know you disappeared for a few minutes, but
yeah, no, I had to get a glass of water. No, nothing offhand. Yeah, it's hard to say. I do feel like there's hope though. So I do feel that, sometimes I don't, but this time I really do feel like there's hope. So nothing for sure, but I think, like you said, I think saying some prayers and doing your best to think of the best possible outcome as best you can. I know it's really hard, but
yeah,
because you can spend your time worrying, or you can spend your time still doing what you need to do, but then trying to imagine the best possible outcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
And you're
So,
not
little bit of both.
alone. You've got
Yes.
a lot of us here with you. You guys definitely are not alone.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys more than you know. I can't stress enough. It has been rough trying to get this out there, and I never would have. Well, I guess a part of me, thought there could be an issue because of her past and and things that she did. But she's a person too. She's a mother. She's my sister.
Oh,
And
yeah.
But is
Everybody
she,
has somebody that loves them, regardless of past, regardless of what they do. Everybody is loved by somebody. Everybody is just as important as the next person.
yeah, everyone
right.
has value, so no matter what, yeah.
That is.
I feel like
absolutely-
is she a very loud and boisterous person?
oh yes, oh
Like
yes,
she enters the room and you know it.
yes, she
Yeah.
is.
Speaks her
Yeah.
mind.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes she would call me, and I'm not gonna lie, she would be, I guess, inebriated, like to the point to where she really couldn't speak very well. And I would just listen to her breathe. And I swear I would give anything for one of those phone calls right now just to be able to hear her breathing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep my hope and my faith that something's gonna turn out good in this. She's gonna pop up somewhere. She was just maybe needing space or something, or like you guys said, she could be somewhere better in herself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just can't give up hope.
No.
For sure. For sure.
We have seen some strange situations when it comes to what we're doing that I would look at and think, there's no hope. And it could be years down the road and the person is found and they're safe. I mean, there's no way to know for certain one way or the other. So, like everybody's saying, don't lose that hope because there is always a possibility.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys, and I'll definitely stay in contact.
Okay. Well, we're here. We're all over social media. Dennis has put the stuff. So, anytime you need to call, text, just say, hey, this is Crash.
Yes, sir.
We see it and we'll know who you are. So,
Thank you.
we'll do whatever we can. Okay.
And I'll let you guys know if I hear anything different or any more information that I get. I'll drop a comment and let you guys know.
Awesome. Well, it was nice meeting you, Harry. And we are sorry for what you all are going through.
Well, we appreciate you guys.
All right. Well, you take care.
Okay, y'all too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
It's another sad story, guys. Just, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully we just, we get, this video will get some traction, for them. Hopefully somebody will see something. Somebody will, she's going to stand out with that many tattoos. She's going to stand out quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's because sometimes it's a little hard, see, a woman with blonde hair, and it's hard. You see a lot of people who you get. I saw someone that looks similar, but with that tattoos, it should make it a little easier. Say,
Oh, yeah.
you can look for that and say, especially like on her face and her neck, and you say, okay, were these there? Or if there's video, like you said, if they're pulling together digital images, or that one shelter that maybe has some videos now, that will make it really easier to locate. So
Yeah.
that will actually be really helpful. So
Yeah. Well, I pray she's somewhere getting help.
mhm.
even if she had met somebody and somebody was trying to help turn her life around.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you just never know. And I do think, I always, I always tend to say just try to imagine the best possible. Like I said, you can spend all your energy worrying and thinking the worst, or you can spend the exact same amount of energy and thinking the best. Still do what you need to do, but when it comes to those spiral thoughts, just flip them. And even though you don't feel it, it helps if you feel it, but if you don't feel it at the time, it's okay. You're still trying to change. But I do feel like that may, I don't know for sure, but I feel like that may help in this situation, maybe even more than other situations, that just really focusing on, that relief of like, oh my gosh, we found her. This is so great. Because again, you can think the bad or you can think the best and try to feel it as best you can. I've done it where I was like in a situation and it felt horrible, but it's like, I'm going to think the opposite. I still felt horrible, but in the end, it was much better than what I imagined. So I know in these situations it's a little different, but I think you just do the best you can with it, because it is a hard situation no matter what. But I truly feel like that energy, that positive energy, potentially, I don't know, but potentially can maybe help in some way, just like prayer. It's the same concept. If you do our same prayers about it, pray the positive, not the negative. I don't want her to be lost and say, no, I pray that she's found and she's safe and happy. Just do it in a more positive manner. And that may, who knows, it may help.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, hopefully, the Huff family will start looking and, as they're out doing their daily odds and ends and runs, they'll be on the lookout. I know he had mentioned somewhere up there that I guess there's some vacant properties not too far, and people are coming in and out. He absolutely, it's getting warm out. People are going to start coming out, and let's be honest. I mean, just up till 2 weeks ago, I still was wearing, a t-shirt, a long sleeve t-shirt, and a thermal shirt, and a thick hooded sweatshirt, and insulated pants every day, and you can't recognize anybody with all the amount of clothing on out walking on the side of a street. So
yeah, you have your hood up because you're cold and
absolutely.
Everything. It's harder. You don't even know what color hair you have, let alone if you're the person or not. So I think it'll be better. And then instead of just trying to keep warm or just staying in your house because it's too cold to leave, you'll get more people out and about too.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got up to 96 yesterday.
Yeah, it was hot yesterday.
Yeah,
it was insane.
It was.
I'm sunburnt from working in the yard yesterday.
Yeah, it was. I went and marked out a building on a piece of property and looked at the amount of dirt work we're gonna have to do for cutting some grade, and then we went and walked in the woods for making more ATV, UTV, riding trails. For this homeowner. So I took the grandson with me. That was his first time ever going to work with me. So it was pretty good. He did really good. He's already been up here once in his pirate outfit with his Nerf gun, and I had to turn around like, not right now. We can't have a Nerf war right now, buddy. You gotta go. But I think they've all left to go home for the night. So because usually, we have dinner and then, Tammy will always give them their baths. So when they get home, they can just go straight to bed, and all that. So, but,
Alex, you mentioned a thermal shirt a minute ago, and we're always trying to do things or get things that can open more opportunities with what we're doing to find missing loved ones. You mentioned a thermal shirt. Do you want to mention what you were able to get?
Oh, so so as Dennis and I talk about stuff that we need to help with what we do, It's always been on our list, but believe it or not, it was not. It was. Oh, the kids are still here. I hear him hollering. It wasn't our top pick of something that we really need, but Dennis can pull the pictures up if he still has them saved. So I was on the auction one night, and it's one of the California auctions, and it was one of the auctions that does municipalities, it does military, police, government stuff. And lo and behold, they had 80 thermal drones that they were selling.
Oh my gosh.
So I told Dennis, and I'm like, yo, look at this. Look what they got on the auction. So it was a week when I seen it till it was coming up. So you had to go through the procedure to get checked out to bid. So I did all that, and I buy stuff off this auction site. But this was an auction site where they absolutely did no shipping, no nothing. So I was going to have to figure out how to either pay somebody to go pick it up and ship it or whatnot if I bid it, did bid on one. And so yeah, it was a couple Fridays ago, and I told Dennis, I'm like, well, tonight's the auction. Let's see what happens. So they started out. They had 2 different models, and they went crazy. And I was just like, oh my word, this is not going to go well. Well, luckily, they had 2 different style thermal cameras, and the majority of them were thermal, but they were only, I guess, like 1080p. And then the last 15 of them or 20 of them were 4K with the FLIR thermal. And so I won one, and I was tremendously happy because everybody ran out of money at the end of the night.
Everyone had bought all the ones they could afford. Oh,
yeah. So the poor people went last that night and scored big time. So,
nice.
So there it is. And I would say it's 99.9% probably brand new, never been used.
Wow.
So it's got 4 batteries. Everything is rechargeable. There's no, even the remote, there's not any smudges or dirt or grease on it. Not anything at all. And everything is rechargeable. So it's got 4 batteries. It can hold a regular phone. It can hold a tablet. It's got an extra set of blades. The only thing that I could not find in it, and I actually just started charging the batteries yesterday, is it has a big USB block, and the little C-style clip cords to plug into everything, they are missing out of the case. So I will just have to order those. But yeah, it's the thermal camera is a FLIR brand camera. I can't remember what the model number of it is. But yeah, I ended up having to pay UPS to go to the auction house and go pick it up and ship it.
Oh, I didn't know they did that. That's nice.
Yeah, UPS. So I called. It was in Fontana, California. And I called there was 3 UPS stores within like 3 to 5 miles of the auction house. And I called the closest one, and they said, no, we do not go pick up stuff. You will have to call UPS directly and have them do a pickup. And they will do that.
Okay.
And that was the first week of the high fuel prices. So I had to pay a pickup charge, the insurance. I had to pay a fuel surcharge, and they picked it up on let's see, they picked it up on, was it Monday, Dennis? Like Monday afternoon they picked it up, and I think it showed up, was it Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah.
I think it made it in like 3 days. So so yes, we haven't tried it out yet. And like I said, it was something that we have discussed, that we would like to have one. This list of things that Dennis and I have talked about, from, the boat with the sonar stuff to GPR to underwater drone to the thermal drone and all this stuff. And, are you leaving? Give me hugs. Love you. Have a good day at school tomorrow, okay?
I will.
Okay. I'll see you later.
I'll see you later.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
So, so yeah. So the grandkids' father, he's got a drone. I can't remember what brand it is, but it's not I don't think it's do you remember what brand his is, Dennis?
Not right off.
Oh, well, there we are. We're back. That was crazy. Did you all just see that? My screen, everything went totally black and just started circling. So
It's because Alex told you not to crash it, or Mac told you not to crash it.
Evidently. So so the grandkids' dad, he has a drone. Dennis has one. And the kids' dad, he has come and videoed me in the equipment doing stuff. So I assume between him and Dennis, we will figure out how to fly it and not crash it. But yeah, we're excited. I even told Taylor that last night here at my house, the coyotes were they were all over. I mean, they were right at the house, coming up out of the farm field. So hopefully this week we will be able to test it out and use it, and we will move forward with trying to start using it and get some footage, so on and so forth. So because we joked a lot about it. We was like, yep, we're going to be able to see the coyotes. We're going to be able to see Bigfoot. We're going to be able to see anything and everything. So in the dark. So it'll be pretty fun. So, everybody that's still with us, what do you guys think about, Amber's case here? Amber Gordon, that's been missing since August of 2025. So I think almost 8 months now. I think it was August 30th of 2025. What do you guys all think? I just really hope and pray she's somewhere getting help. She's in some kind of woman's shelter. She's some kind of church type shelter function thing that helps women out. I really hope that's what's going on. We hope that's what it is for sure. Whoa. I started getting all kinds of weird things popping up. Chammer, is your StreamYard working okay?
Yeah.
Why does mine always mess up?
I don't know. Yeah, no, I had no issues.
Let's see. some of the people I help do projects for.
Well, if you do, yeah, I agree with
Oh, somebody else.
Natasha. If you see Bigfoot, you need to let everyone know.
Oh, you bet. I will definitely be like, whoa, look at this.
I have a friend that she has a friend that she's known for 30 years. Good friend, known him forever. He supposedly has like some very crystal clear pictures of Bigfoot. Like he was out camping or hunting or something, and he has a bunch of fuzzy ones, but he has a whole bunch that turned out really good. And he will never show them because he's like, I do not need that drama in my life. Because he's like, it's so clear. It's because in the Bigfoot world, it seems like if you do have really, really good pictures, it's either a hoax or it's real, and then it's the drama happens.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't want drama. So he's like, I'm never showing them.
Well, you know, it's just like, what was it? Was it this time last year when we had the old Metal Man pictures?
Yeah.
My camera.
Yeah, I shown that picture to multiple people and no one can explain it, and they say it is highly unusual.
It is, and I don't even know if I even still have those pictures anywhere.
Oh, I have them on my phone still, so
yeah. You talk about freaky. It literally looks like a 12 to 15 foot tall big square robot creature standing between two of my trucks in the middle of the night. I mean, I'll never forget that. I remember looking at it and rolling over at Tammy.
Oh, we lost him.
Tammy and being like, I'm not real, but it looks like there is a giant metal robot standing out in the driveway between the box truck and my truck. And she's like, whatever. And I showed her. And I think I remember she jumped up and looked out because our bedroom windows look out over that whole side of the house.
Oh my
And
goodness.
she's like, there's nothing out there. I'm like, it's gone.
Oh, he's having trouble again. Yeah, that was some interesting pictures. I think there's a lot that we don't know. Never seen that though. And yeah, I agree. I think that the FLIR cameras can really help with the missing people. Because I know a lot of times they'll send like helicopters over, like when it's a recent, they're trying to find someone who went missing recently, like in a forest. And they'll use like the helicopters with the FLIR, but that's that and it's very expensive, and you need to have helicopter pilots and crews and everything. Just having it on your on your drone that you can take up at any moment in time will make it, I think, in theory, should help quite a bit too. Oh, we lost Alex completely. Dennis is here, but he's not here, so no, but thank you all. And I know someone had mentioned about the dowsing rods. I could maybe do a dowsing session to see what we get with that. But like I said, I do feel like there's hope. So I don't see a clear picture, but I do feel like there's hope. So I really hope so too. And I think, am I still live? Am I the only one, or am I? Okay. Good. I wasn't sure if maybe I was out or if everyone else was out. So, but yeah, Teresa, I can maybe I'll talk to Dennis and Alex and see if they want to do that. Just do like a dowsing rod session. Just again, see what kind of answers we get. We lost Alex. He was talking about the drones and then disappeared.
Oh man.
What he's talking about is Robot Man and then disappeared, which is actually even more disturbing. So
he's trying to reboot it back.
Okay, good. I'm not sure, but I don't know if he has good Wi-Fi service, but that would be the main reason, but it could be something else too.
See, it seems like every live feed we freeze up on him, but everything's still working over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm ready to get better internet signal. I'm surprised it's working good tonight because it's windy out.
Yeah. You know, where I live, we'll get some strong winds, and it never affects our Wi-Fi. But I think it's because they're underground. So like, it depends where you're at. Like, because I know we had there's that Allo that has come through. We've had a couple other companies, and I think they're doing mostly underground stuff now. So maybe, you know, and they seem to go like by town, and they'll kind of reach out to everybody in the town and say, do you want to try our internet? So.
And this comment here, it's interesting that supposedly there's forces out there that keep eyes on all of us but can't find missing loved ones. I have to say, sometimes I wonder, because we could find an enemy combatant in the mountains in a cave in the Middle East.
Yeah.
We could find them within 24 hours, but we can't find a missing person on our own soil.
Yeah, that bothers me a lot too. Yeah, because if our technology is that good, and I know it's like half of us, you know, classify like how good our technology is, but I mean what they show or what they release is usually 10 years behind. I have a friend he was in the military, and he did video analysis too, and he said, yeah, everything that they say is come out like, oh, we can see this or we can see that. That's 10 years behind what they can actually do. Because that's classified once. Because it's like, considering they can see your license plate from a satellite, I think they could probably find a missing person. There was one case that was, I didn't bring it up because it happened very quickly. But it was a gal who went missing in Colorado. She was, I think, in her 70s, and she was driving actually a road that she normally drive, and it was in the mountains in Colorado, and it was like, you know, in the spring, I think it was last year. And she got confused, and she made some wrong turn, because she even called the person she was driving to, but she had driven many times to, and said, I think I turned off on the wrong turn. I'm going to turn around and come back. They could not find her. And she drove off to, you know, the middle of nowhere, because this was kind of a rural area anyway. And, you know, car got stopped or stalled or ran out of gas. And then she got out of the car and she ended up freezing to death, which is horrible. But, you know, they had so many people out looking for her, which was great. But it's like, if you could have taken a satellite that had FLIR technology, or, you know, some type of technology that they use now for warfare, and use it in that area, they probably could have found her in like a matter of minutes, in my belief. But why couldn't we do that?
Hey, it's our tax dollars at work. Let's put it to use for the people.
Yeah. I mean, I understand some things to a degree, but it's like, if we have that technology for that, surely we can use that technology to help people too.
Right. Not Alex yet.
Well, not yet. So I know someone had mentioned, I think I'm going to pronounce it wrong, Cordo 2027, I think, had asked about doing a dowsing session for the Amber Gordon case. We can definitely do that if you'd like.
Absolutely. I'm always open to that.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I've gotten a couple little things, but I haven't. Actually, when you first brought it up, there was a lot of energy with that case, which is interesting. That could just be her, because she's just a big ball of energy anyway. So she's very, very high energy person. So.
And you pronounced the name correct.
I did. That's amazing.
I am horrible with names. I remember early on in doing this, I would have people in the comments, why can't you ever get a name right? I'm just saying it how I'm reading it.
Yeah, I tend to say things as it looks. Now, that one I know a little bit more. I know the I know the doe, that's how you pronounce that word, but the other part I wasn't sure. So she's definitely high energy. Yeah, she's, I definitely feel that. I know you talked about it a little, but I can definitely feel just very, very high energy, big ball of energy, a lot of fun, a lot of, she can be a little confrontational, but she doesn't do it in a mean way. She's just, it's like, I don't know how to say it, like she's laughing about it. She doesn't mean it in a mean way at all. You know, the people that are just loud and boisterous, and it's not negative. It's just how they are. So, that's the energy that I feel from her. So. I was thinking it was French. Yeah. I can see that too. Yeah, she likes making people laugh. So yeah, because I can see her like talking to someone like loudly, and like, again, it's not meant to be confrontational. It's like she's smiling with her eyes and laughing about it, and doesn't mean it in a mean way whatsoever. And yeah, it's just fun.
There is something I wanted to mention tonight and kind of clarify. We've had some cases out of Tennessee for quite some time, and one of those was Aaron Shankey that we are still working on. And in doing so, I did get a phone call and an email, and we've talked about receiving a threat from there. The person that called me told me that they were, and I won't say a name, but an official in the area. And their threat was, if I ever come to Tennessee to do any type of search on that particular case, I would never leave Tennessee. So they mentioned name, the phone number I looked up did go back to that person. And it took pretty much all of this time digging into this to find out the person who talked to me, who said they were the official who made the threat, really was not that official. Well, I'll put it out there. They told me that they were District Attorney Dunaway, is who they told me they were on the phone when they made the threat. I was finally able to get Dunaway's voice, and they were so far different. One of them was more higher pitched. The other one was really deep. And that, with some other digging into this, I have found it was not Attorney General Dunaway that called and made that threat. It was somebody else. So I wanted to make sure to clear that up, let that be known that that threat did not come from an official. And I am still working to figure out where that threat come from. And, at this point, it doesn't really matter to me personally. If I do have to go to Tennessee someday to work a case in that area, I'm going to go to Tennessee and work on it. I'll have all the cameras running live in case something happens. But whoever it is out there that called and made that threat, I really hope you see this, because as far as I'm concerned, me personally, you're whistling in the wind. And you can make threats, you can do whatever you feel you got to do. At the end of the day, the truth is going to come out. Whether we bring out the truth, whether you do something stupid and the truth comes out later and you get added charges, that decision's on you. But you're not going to stop me. with a stupid threat over a phone call or an email. So I just wanted to get that out there. It was not Attorney General Dunaway that made that threat. I do have my personal opinion on that Attorney General, but when it comes to this particular situation, it was not him. So I just wanted to make sure that that was clear. Natasha said she actually saved me from getting hurt worse than I already was in a situation one time. Thank you. And it sounds like she was close with everybody that loved her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I think she had, I don't know, I talked about some mental health issues, but kind of like an up and down kind of thing. And our society, unfortunately, our systems we have just are not, they don't handle that very well. I don't think they ever really have. I think they're better than they used to be, but they still, it's still something where there aren't good systems to really help people that are having, mental health issues of any kind, honestly.
Right.
Because, a lot of these issues, it comes from somewhere. There's a reason why, you have, like you said, if you have any substance abuse or you have mental health issues, there's a reason why behind it. And it's kind of getting to that root cause, whether it's, dealing with some past trauma. And I think it's a combination of things, also helping with nutrition, if there's deficiencies, things like that in the body that contribute to it. I think it's a combination of things. And unfortunately, our system really isn't, the drugs help. They really do help, but it's better to get at that root cause. And I think that's where the system kind of fails a little bit. And I think a lot of us, we just don't understand mental health issues as well as we should. So.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because in the past, anytime it come with dealing with any kind of mental health, all it was medication. We got to medicate these people up, and that's going to kick the can down the road. I think we are slowly transitioning to where they're going beyond the medicine, but it's at a very slow pace.
It is, yeah. I agree. I do see some improvements, like with therapy and counseling and that, because it's not just one thing. And the medicine, like I said, the medicine is great. It can make a big difference. It can save your life, make it so that you can function, and feel better. But it's treating the symptom, not the root causes, not the disease. So it's more of treating the person, and this is how I see it. This is my personal belief, that it's about treating the person, not the disease. So you treat the person and figure out what's going on with them, and you treat them with whatever tools you have, whatever, meets their needs. And then, and then at that point, because I'm all about getting to that root cause, what's causing it. And I know in those situations it can be a little more complex. It's usually not just one thing, but again, just address all of them, but I think that's where we don't have that as much. It's getting better. I agree. And also people want to have help, but if they also don't have the foundation, because you kind of need to be at a better spot too, to kind of make that decision. So, because I have some family members that are struggling with it too. So I understand, and it's hard. I mean, I struggle with it all the time, and it's like how, you struggle with, like, my struggle is like, how much is mental health issue and how much is choice? I have no idea what that is. And I think it's different for everybody, and it may vary on the day, who knows? But yeah, I think it's definitely, something that definitely needs a lot of improvement on. And I think it also takes a lot of attention, time and attention, like personal attention. And that might be where we kind of struggle too. It's like, it's something you really need to spend time with that person over a long period of time in a constructive way, not just here's your medicine and you move on. I mean, it needs to be, so maybe we need medicine, and then maybe we need therapy, and maybe we need, some nutrition to counteract this. Maybe there's something that the brain is, some chemicals, some nutrition, some minerals that the brain is missing, that lithium is actually just a mineral. So that's a deficiency in lithium, actually. So it's actually a mineral deficiency. So there's all kinds of things, but it's all custom to each person in each situation. It's not like a Band-Aid where I can always just give this one medicine. I mean, that's a good step, but I think that next step is, and that's true with a lot of our healthcare, that next step of like, well, why, what is actually causing this, and how can we get rid of it? That's
Right.
what got me started on my whole journey in the first place. It's like, I don't want acid reflux the rest of my life. I'm not taking that medicine the rest of my life. What's causing it? I'm going to get rid of it.
And I'm not going to try to pronounce her name, so I'm going to say the lady with the French name. How is it up in Canada? I believe, if I remember correct, you're from Canada. Is it about the same that it is down here, or is it a little bit more advanced? How is it up there? And Mac, I definitely agree with Mac. Law enforcement needs to be better trained to deal with people with these issues.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
that would be a big help.
it would be.
It's,
I think it's almost like a pandemic level. It's something where there's so many people who have these issues. The drugs are just a tool to help. They're self-medicating in a way that works for them. And people do it all the time. It can be TV, it can be games, it can be gambling, it can be fast food. People self-medicate in all kinds of ways. Drugs are just way more destructive. So, but people do that for different reason too, and yeah, I agree. A lot of times someone had said, Natasha said something that, you see them as addicts forever. And that's true to a certain degree. Like, cause I have a friend that was an alcoholic. So like, I will always be an alcoholic, but he was in AA and he never drank again. But, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be a drug addict their whole life. They may struggle with addiction, but that doesn't mean they can't overcome it for the rest of their life. So, yeah, and I remember there was a show I was watching, because I guess in Portugal they removed it's like the use of drugs was no longer criminalized in Portugal, I believe. And so what they did is they took all that money they were spending on, the arrests and the jail time and all that just for the use of drugs, and they put all that money into rehabilitation so that people could, you were no longer arrested if you used illegal drugs. But then at the same point, there were all these programs. They put all of their money and all their resources into helping people rather than just arresting people. And they said it's made a huge difference in their country. So
that would be awesome.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, she's in Alberta, Canada.
Okay.
Yvonne. There, I tried to pronounce a name. I may be way off.
Cordo. I think if I said it the same way as I did last time, which I don't know. Cordo. Think of COR, and then DOUGH. Cordo.
See, it's a beautiful name.
It is very beautiful. Yeah, Cordo. Yeah, when I see names like that I have to pronounce over and over, I will write it out the way that it's pronounced on a sheet of paper rather than the way it's spelled. Otherwise, it gets me every time. So, and I have to write it out the way it sounds. I've actually written it like multiple times, and I'll say it over and over and over again until I get it right.
I have done that with some cases that would be just a really name I can't pronounce. I will go on Google and ask, how do you pronounce this name, and type it in. And then I would write down their little cheat sheet kind of on there.
The phonetics, yeah.
Hey, Natasha, what are we having for supper?
The Y is pronounced like an E. Okay. Yeah, it looks like from what Cordeau is saying is that Canada seems to be about the same as the US.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah, because that would be interesting to actually do like an analysis of each country and how they handle this issue, because it is a global issue. And like what countries are the most successful and why. So, and is it repeatable elsewhere? If Portugal's had fantastic results with it, or what have they learned? Like this doesn't work, but this does, that kind of thing.
See, and it would solve so many problems. People would be healthier. Crime rates would go down.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's so many benefits to fixing the root cause of issues.
Yeah, because like people talk about, the drug issues and things like that. And it's like, if there were no customers, there would be no drug issue. So if you get to the root cause, they could sell all the drugs they wanted, but nobody would be buying. So yeah, so it's like I said, I don't know what the answer is by any means, but I think there should be something better than there is now. And I don't know, I guess some of those problems are kind of bigger, but what I've learned is that there's so many like small grassroots changes that are happening, especially in the US, and they're all like individual people that have had an experience or an issue or learned something, and they're trying to spread it to help other people. And that's kind of where we're at. We have all these massive small grassroots things. Some of them get larger than others over time, but it's that slow change. It doesn't happen overnight, but you have enough people that talk about this, talk about that, and like it's just like the food that we eat, how we've changed our opinions on it. Crisco was initially developed in 1901 to be grease for German submarines. There's been no research whatsoever whether it was edible or not, ever. So it was used as grease. It didn't actually work very well because it kind of wasn't efficient enough. And they also didn't have a lot of submarines, so there wasn't a lot of benefit. So they sold their product to Procter & Gamble, and they were making soap. But people at that point were making their own soap, so they couldn't sell it. So then they decided to turn it into Crisco and as a replacement for lard. So, and they actually on the Procter & Gamble, one of the people that in the higher ups in Procter & Gamble were also happened to be on the board for the American Heart Association, and they paid the American Heart Association $1.8 million to say that Crisco was better than lard. And they did this big ad in the Wall Street Journal, and that's why Crisco became what it is. There was no research whatsoever that it was healthier for you by any means. In fact, it's probably the opposite. So things like that, like information comes out and it's verifiable, and then people are like, well, I don't want to eat that anymore. So things change because as a people, we have a lot of power. At least we have as Americans, very consumerism, we have the ability to change what we at least purchase and consume. So.
Well, it doesn't look like Alex is going to make it back on tonight.
Okay. Did the internet go down? Oh, no.
I think the robot man might have done something to him.
You might have. You're not supposed to talk about him, apparently. I did see that Teresa's going to make chicken nugget stroganoff. That sounds good.
She made Mac Randall Jr. hungry. See that.
Bigfoot got Alex. It'll be on the news.
Alex better get a photo and send to us before
I
they go.
know. He has security cameras. We'll see it.
Yeah, there we go. And guys, also don't forget Sunday, April the 12th, we will be doing a live feed on Randy Leach. Coming up to 38 years that Randy has been missing. and we're going to talk about the case. Tamara will probably do a dowsing segment on that episode. And we're going to invite you guys to join us on the live, kind of like what we saw tonight, to discuss your thoughts and theories on the case as well. So don't forget Sunday, April 12th for that. And Natasha's birthday is a week from tomorrow. And Megan's doing good. She's in there with the kids right now. She joins us on here now and then, but she is a big help behind the scenes with digging into the cases, finding information, and all of that good stuff. Oh, Mac's birthday is April 17th.
It's coming up.
Any new information on Randy? Yes and no. Any new information we do have on Randy has to do more with search locations than what may or may not have happened to Randy. Do have a lot of locations lined up to search, and our official searches actually begin early April, and we always schedule our searches this way so we're not out where it's freezing cold and everybody's down for a week sick and all of that. And then also safety. But the first weekend of April, I believe it might be the second weekend of April, we have our first local search scheduled. And we also have, like I said, multiple searches for Randy. Alex getting his drone is good timing because some of the areas we're going to be in are rather large. And what we're looking for in these areas, a drone would be perfect. So we could have multiple drones deployed on that property. But we do have water searches. We'll be running sonar. We may be getting in the water in some locations. And then we have some ground searches too. I have on Randy's case looked, and this is something that I've looked at from the beginning over 5 years ago of us working on it. We don't take anything off the table unless we have the evidence to show that's not what happened. And when it comes to one of the rumors that Randy's family was behind this, I don't have proof to hand somebody that says, hey, they didn't do it. But I am personally convinced that they were not behind it. But other than that, not really a whole lot of anything new. It's just at this point, I don't think we could even at this point work at trying to eliminate the theories that are out there. At this point, it's still what locations do we need to get on, get those searched, and narrow the search down that way. Because the more locations we're able to clear, the more narrow the scope becomes. Max says that drone is going to be a game changer. Alex and I have been talking about a thermal drone for ever since the first year we done the farm show, so 3 years ago, and we were looking at one there. And, you know, thermal thermal, if the person is just recently missing and you're out looking in the woods for them, that would be a huge thing to have. You know, some of our cases are 20, 30 years old that they've been missing. So the thermal itself won't do a lot in those cases, but the other capabilities within the drone will be incredible. And I'm ready to get Alex out and deploy that drone and put it to use. Didn't one of your last podcasts on Randy seem like you were getting closer? I will say this. I know everybody has their thoughts and opinions on what actually happened to Randy. Here within our team, I think 3 or 4 of us have different thoughts and opinions on what happened to Randy. But I think we are very close to having it narrowed down to just maybe 2 or 3 things. There's a lot of stuff that, again, we can't say, here's the evidence that this person wasn't involved. But we've seen enough to believe that it is not very likely to be the case. But there's 2, 3, maybe 4 theories there that there is evidence to back up each one. So it's just putting those together, figuring out what locations tie into that, and then getting out there and getting those searched. In Mac, yes, GPR would be incredible. We have, as you guys know, the Crystal Kipper case out of Kansas City. And I hope I said that right. And we believe we know the property that she's on. We also believe there is up to 21 other individuals that could be on the same property. I did speak with somebody that had worked on the case in the past, and they have found the same thing that we did and actually said that we had actually found more. And this person was actually law enforcement in the past. So we believe that there's multiple people on this property, but without GPR or a cadaver dog team, it's a needle in a haystack going out there and trying to find them. And we did let law enforcement know our findings, what we believe, so they are aware of that. It's just having that equipment or cadaver dog team that we can get out there and see what can be found. We also have the Cole Firestein case here out of Leavenworth, that there was some new information come in on it, but speaking that would possibly hinder law enforcement's investigation. The detective working that case and I have spoken many times, so I do not want to hinder anything, but GPR would be incredible for that case as well. In camera, have you taken dowsing rods to some of the properties or locations?
I have not, no.
How would that work?
I mean, the way I see it and the way that I've been trained and what I believe is, energies are, it's everything's connected. So you don't necessarily need to be in a location to find it. I know some people do, and that works out well. But basically, like what you can do with the dowsing rods. So if you are on location, you can use, I don't have dowsing rods with me, I'm actually traveling, but you can use the dowsing rods and you can have them like point in a direction. It's like, again, where is this, where is this person located? And it will point a direction. And then what you can ask is, like when I get to that location, you can ask them to cross. So you can say, okay, so you're just pointing, or you can use a pendulum, and it can actually, go in that direction too that you need to go. And so you follow that direction. And then once you get to that location, then it will cross. That's how they do like divining, finding water wells. Yeah. It's the same concept, and it's all intent. It's all belief and intent. And like I said, that's, if you're on location, that's one thing you can do is you can, use that to potentially find a location.
Natasha said, I was going to ask Tamara, if you were on live when they go to the locations, would that work?
That could work. Yeah. I've thought about doing that too. So like if you were on location, I can do like map dowsing this, so I can pull up a map, and do that. I have, like I said, I am still learning, but I have a friend that does dowsing, and a lot of people don't necessarily do, in general, a lot of people don't do missing people work because it is very, you're right or you're wrong. There's, and it feels awful to be wrong. So, and sometimes there's bigger things at work and you're not supposed to find them at that moment, or, maybe you're having a bad day. So you interfere, with your connection to the answers. So there's lots of different factors that way. But yeah, I could open up, you can again be live and I can say, well, the message I get is to go this way, or I think it's in this location, based on what I'm seeing on my map, or just again, we could probably, I don't know if anyone's ever done this where like, you just do like a live and, we say, well, which way do we go? And it's okay. It says go this way. So we go this way for a little while. And like I said, it's very black and white. I get intuitive type things too, but like dowsing is very black and white because that is, a very yes or no type situation in your communication. But yeah, you could just say, let's go this way. And then when you're done, and then can change your directions. Like I said, I have a friend that she did, someone went missing, and they, friend of a friend knew her. So they contacted her and they said, no, she did a map dowsing. She did a pendulum map dowsing. What I got is that she's here. It was by this creek. And the people on the call were like, there's no way she could be there. I mean, that was like way off of where even all the searches are. Well, they called back like a couple months later and they found her exactly where she said, because there had been a flood on the creek from where she went missing. And I don't know if the creek had made her pass away or something happened ahead of time, it was an accidental death. And yeah, it washed her down to that location where she was. So I've heard stories. I know it's possible. There's different ways of doing it because there's bigger pictures at play. I don't pretend to understand it all. I just ask and we see what kind of answers we get. So yeah, it is possible, but then, some of it's the journey and some of it's, finding the right time for the right answer.
We're going to have to give that a try on one of these.
Yeah, so that's actually a really good idea. I just make sure I don't send you off to like in the creek or something or off a cliff. So don't just pay attention 100%. They could be in that direction, but it may be a ways away. That's where you can ask questions like, well, is it 5 miles away? Is it 1 mile away? Is it, those kind of things, so I think we can ask a lot of details around it. So you're not going off in the middle of nowhere for no reason too.
Hey, Pulse, how you doing?
Yeah, some of the intuitive things can be a little scary too. That's also, I think, the reason why a lot of people don't do this as well. It's sometimes, and it's just hard. Even if it's just sad, it's still hard. So
it's, to me, one of the most emotional things you can do is working on a missing persons case. like for me, the only person I know that's missing personally is Star Boomer. But the other cases we're working on, for example, tonight, talking about Amber Gordon, I start getting emotional with it because that is somebody's loved one.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's one of the hardest things I've ever done. But at the same time, it's one of the most beautiful things you can do because you're giving back and helping somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to just wanting to help people, and there's all kinds of different ways to help people.
I had to check a message. My phone has been going like crazy.
Has Alex got a hold of you? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's okay.
Okay, good. So no Bigfoot abduction.
Hey, unless Bigfoot got his phone, I mean.
That could be. Yeah, I've heard some stories.
And Natasha says the Find Me group in Arizona actually interviewed me to work with them, and I decided not to. I don't think I've heard of them. It's not ringing a bell.
I haven't heard of them.
And yeah, we're going to do everything we can to help with Amber's case. It's just another one of those unfortunate situations that, bad decisions from somebody, possibly the girls that dropped her off and left. But this is something that should have never happened, whatever it is that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Even if she is somewhere getting help right now, nobody should have to be in a position that they have to go get help, and if they are, it should be available.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, that happened with the Chance Engelbert case, where the land had shifted and he was able to be located then.
So I see we are past 2 hours. I had a discussion with StreamYard about how this would, anytime we hit 2 hours, it could be 2 hours and 30 minutes, but it would always kick us all off and be gone. That issue is supposed to be fixed. We're at 2 hours and 3 minutes now, and so far no issues. So very thankful for that. Hopefully that's completely fixed. And I know it's a long time to do a live feed, but there's some nights that the conversation really picks up and it moves forward. And it's hard to say at 2 hours and 5 minutes, well, guys, we need to shut down because it's going to kick us off, when the conversation is really heated up. So we should not have to worry about that issue moving forward. Natasha, I think they changed that to where I know for the children, the minors that are missing, they're supposed to have them named after like 2 hours now. They really shortened that. With adults, I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. But it's really strange he's not listed on NamUs. Have you reached out to them by chance to hear what they say about that? And Mac, I agree. I mean, StreamYard they're not real cheap to use. So it shouldn't kick you off, but hopefully that's all fixed and hopefully we ain't got to worry about that. And Natasha, yeah, it's easy to go over 2 hours on some, and then others it's like, man, we probably should have ended it half an hour ago. So, guys, I think it is about time to call it a night. It's almost the kids' bedtime. Go in and get them together and ready for bed. Start a new week. Mark Fullerton's case, it's pretty easy to get heated with that one. And I know some of our longest live feeds have been on Mark Fullerton's case. And we do have locations to search for him as well. Hopefully we get to go back there this year and get these locations searched. So, guys, I think we will go ahead and shut it down at this point. Tamara, is there anything else you want to add?
No, I think we kind of covered everything for this one. I think definitely maybe, have another discussion on it, whether it's part of another group discussion or its own. Either way, I think it's definitely something we'll come back to.
Okay. So, guys, with that, if you have any information on Amber's case or any other case, please go over to our website and send that over along with any cases you would like to see us work on. And you guys stay safe. We'll see you guys down the road.
Yep. No, thank you, everyone.